Well, we're getting ready to change this old barge unit. I'll put up a picture of the model and serial number. It looks like it came from 1980, but my father-in-law said that he remembers that unit from long before that, so I'm not for sure. But it's still kicking, it's still running. It's just I'm going to change it out today with a 14-seer ring. That old train unit from 1998 came actually from my house. That was that unit that was in my house when I first moved in, and I took it out because it's a 3-ton. This one's a 3-ton, and I was going to actually put that one in here in place of this. I just never did. It's time for the old barge unit to disappear. Like I said, what I'm going to do is put in a 3-ton heat pump because there's propane at this house, and I'm going to do a 2-stage variable speed furnace, 80%, to replace the 80% furnace that's there now. It used to have an oil burner, and they changed it out 23 years ago to a propane furnace. So everything's getting changed today. So instead of taking one air conditioner out here, now I got to take 2 after I delivered it over here to begin with. Alright, with a little help from Facebook and a picture of the data plate, found out this thing is from January 1969. And I know in 23 years it's never had a service call. It looks to me like it still has the original cap. And somebody did change the fan motor, but that was long before we even got here. So you can tell. But in 23 years, still got the same electric tape. Look at that. No wire nut needed. So, and then of course the capacitor. But as far as I can tell, everything else is original in here. Even the condensate pump is original condensate pump. I'll show you that when we get in there. Yep. So it looks to me like everything in here, original compressor, original run cap. They don't make them like they used to. And of course the capacitor's been changed, but not since I've been here, and that's been 23 years. So it's been an oldie, but a goodie. It's still working. It was still working until I just recovered all the refrigerant out of it. And in its place, the ring's gonna sit. We'll see if it lasts 47 years. That looks different sitting there than that old green machine from 1969. Now we'll go inside and look at the furnace and the 1969 condensate pump. Well, there she is. The magical pastel blue 1969 condensate pump in all its glory. Anyway, setting up on the bucket. Anyway, here's the furnace. It was put in 23 years ago. I'm assuming that's the original coil. It's all getting ripped out and transitioned to it. This is an old 100,000 furnace, but we're not going to need it, so I put in 75,000. It's 21 inch wide. I went with a 17. I'm going to do an ultravision right angle media box. We'll see how it works out. Should look a little cleaner than this does. If you have any doubts about that being the original coil, well, there you go. That is the original evaporator coil. No leaks, no nothing. They don't make them like that anymore. It's gonna look different when I'm done though. Well, I've got the furnace sitting in place. I know it doesn't look like much now, but I'm going to go ahead and do the supply transition first. That way I can get the furnace setting exactly where I need it, so I can do the line set, get it brazed in, get a vacuum pulled on it while I'm doing all this other stuff. The gas line, it actually, I can lift it up and it goes straight in. Of course I won't be using that flex, Got my right angle filter media case, ultravision, so I can just build transition straight down. That way we don't have to use a 1-inch filter. It's sealed up with the foam, but I'm going to go ahead and put mastic in the cracks. You can see there's a little gap there, but that's because of the screws on the furnace. So, but yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and start on the supply transition. It should be pretty easy. I got a 5-inch transition to make, so. Alright, so I got the new unit, of course, set in place, brazed in. It's actually started up and running. I got it running yesterday. I just have to armor flex the line set, tape everything up, and we'll be good out here. I actually had to run a ground rod and attach ground to the disconnect, because for 47 years this thing was never grounded. So I just stuck a ground rod in the ground, and now it's grounded. So run new liquid line, not all the way in, but this is all concreted up, and when I was busting out the concrete to run the new wire, I flattened the old line set a little bit. So I cut it off, went in the crawl space, and brazed it in there, and used my sheet metal there so I wouldn't burn the pad. If anything dripped on her while I was brazing. But yeah, she's good. Like I said, I'm just gonna get my armor flex, and I'm not gonna concrete the hole, I'm just gonna silicone it up. Got some gray concrete kind of silicone, so that'll take care of the outside. I just got to go inside and do the flue and the gas, start up the heat, well, do the conversion on the furnace from LP, from natural gas to LP, and then start it up, check gas pressure, and clean up. Get the hell out of here. Alright, so she's all cleaned up, sealed up, armor flexed, and pretty much it out here. What do I think about the ream unit? It's a little louder than what I thought it would be, but other than that, it's a good unit. They're all good. Doesn't matter what brand it is, as long as it's installed properly. And this one here was brazed with nitrogen. Pulled a vacuum down to like 437 microns. It never had a leak in 23 years, so we'll see what happens with this one. What'd I say? 43? I meant 47 years. We'll just see what happens with this one, and if it's gonna leak, give us problems. I bet it will, in less than half the time. That's it on the outside. I'm gonna pick my line set up I left out here, seal tight, my drill and my rest of my stuff, and we'll be going inside and finishing up. Alright, so here's the furnace, and of course the ultravision right angle filter media case down there. I love that thing. I gotta block that hole up in the transition. Got it setting up on plastic corner blocks, new pump, new vinyl tube going all the way up with the line set over there. In the corner over there's a hole that goes into the crawl space, and you have another crawl you have to go into, and then you go that way probably 20 foot or so, and you're at the outdoor unit. So did that. Had to do a wireless thermostat because I couldn't get wires upstairs, so the Honeywell's working good. I took the 2x4, it just had a light switch on the old furnace, took it off, put in BX Did a combo switch on the wall over there. No more 1969 condensate pump. It needs to be in a museum. Still working though. So they just didn't make things like they did back then. They just don't make things like they did back then. But anyway, so I have to do the flue pipe. Got to convert it over to LP. I'm getting rid of the gas flex. Go all hard pipe inside, and we should be good then. Of course, it's got a drip leg over there, so we'll be good. So I'm gonna get started on the converting it over. Somebody asked me how the flame sensor looked on this furnace, being 23-year-old and being propane. Well, look at that. I've seen newer furnaces look worse than that. An igniter still looks new. Hard to believe I changed it. I don't know how many years ago. It's got to have been 15 or 16 years ago. The last order of business is to mount the wireless outdoor sensor. It should go up by Eve or soffit, but I'm gonna go ahead and mount it down here. If there's a problem, and I'll come back and I'll move it. You know, because it has a battery in it. I want it to be easy to get to, so the battery can be changed, so nobody has to drag a ladder out to do it. So if it shows up an error on the thermostat, I'll go ahead and move it. But if not, that's where it's going to stay. It's been a fun job, but it's over, and I'm glad. I'll take it easy. See ya.